Welcome back to the news at 10. Local government employees seem to be determined in their quest for autonomy. The National Union of Local Government Employees, NULGE, has taken its campaign to Anambra State, where they are seeking the backing of Governor Willie Obiano. The union, led by its president Ibrahim Khalil, met with Mr. Obiano at the Governor's Lodge in Anambra.
Members of the National Union of Local Government Employees are gathered here at the Governor's Lodge, Amobia, in Anambra State, southeast Nigeria, to meet with the governor of the state. The purpose of this visit is to discuss the ongoing clamor for local government autonomy.
You are confident of your relationship with the workforce of the state. And that the collective stand of the workers of the state in support of your administration and your aspirations remain intact.
By demanding for better local government system, Your Excellency, we are not saying there shouldn't be any relationship between states and local government. We are not saying there shouldn't be any relationship between central government and local government. But what we are saying, Your Excellency, is let's try to structure local government in a way and manner constitutionally they will have some degree of autonomy to perform and deliver on their mandates.
The governor pledges the state's support for their cause, but cautions on some of the challenges autonomy could pose to the local government administration.
I do agree with the restructuring of labor, among other things. But I'm only bringing to bear some of the information you need to know that it is not in all instances that money will be, there will be money on the side of, so when, for example, when you have autonomy in that circumstance, what happens? How do you take care of that challenge?
The clamor for autonomy is gaining momentum in almost all parts of the country. However, it appears it's still a long way to actualizing the dream due to the processes required to make it a reality.
The Katsina state government is to engage the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing and other independent generating companies to develop the state-owned government projects. Now, the governor, Aminu Mazari, is concerned about the challenges facing the state's power sector and Nigeria as a whole.
In the power sector, not only as a state, but as a nation. We have so many pending projects. Some are at various stages of progress. So there's a lot of contact to be made with the Ministry of Power and also the companies that have indicated interest with regards to provision of power, especially here in Katsina State. And we requested for an audience with the Director of World Bank because we understand the World Bank people are coming to Nigeria to discuss with the federal government and also with these companies that are especially in solar projects in Nigeria.
The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, is confident that the power generation will improve in Nigeria if states and local governments pay more attention to the implementation of laws guiding the power sector reforms. Mr. Fashola explains that there has been significant increase in power generation up to 7,001 megawatts as of September this year, with transmission up to 6,700 megawatts and distribution rising to 4,600, which seems insufficient for the country.
It's a gathering of professionals at the National Council of Power Conference holding in Jos Plateau State, north-central Nigeria. The program is chaired by the Minister of Power, Works and Housing.
While we are beginning to see results of increased generation up to 7,001 megawatt on the 12th of September, transmission up to 6,700 megawatt, and distribution up to 4,600, it is not enough. The theme of this year's meeting therefore provides an opportunity to share with state representatives and other participants what the PSRP is all about.
We are in full support of the national power goal of 30-30-30 being pursued by Nigeria towards not just improving power supply, but doing so with emphasis on increasing the contribution of renewables in the national energy mix as we join the world to combat and mitigate the adverse effects of climate change.
The week-long program is centered on transmission, distribution, rehabilitation and expansion strategies towards the energy mix in the country.
What we need to do it in line with the laws, in line with the market viability needs, and engage the Nigerian people to be able to understand that power is not free, it's not cheap, but they must pay for what they use.
Private development partners appeal to willing investors to contribute to the growth of the Nigerian power sector.
I will, however, build a pool of the most robust, willing and able investors that will help you build your legacy, create hundreds of millions of jobs that will export industry and knowledge to every corner of the world, putting Nigeria on a scale that will dwarf Dubai, Singapore and all other current leaders who have overcome such challenges in the last 40 years.
Availability of constant power is a dream for most Nigerians, and as the National Council on Power concludes its conference, it's the hope that the various recommendations proffered here will be carried out and its effect seen by the citizens.
A total dividend of 500 million naira has been approved for shareholders of one of Nigeria's foremost companies, Honeywell Flour Mills PLC. This followed the approval of the 2017 audited financial statement of the industrial giant at the company's 8th annual general meeting today in Lagos. 4 directors of the company were also re-elected to the board.
Emerging from the woods in the just-ended 2017 financial year, Honeywell Flour Mills returns to profitability by a remarkable 191% increase in gross profits. With a dividend of 6 kobo per unit, shareholders here at the 8th annual meeting have some benefits to reap, as the development is seen as a step in the right direction. The chairman, Obaotudeko, alongside 3 other directors, retired in line with the article of association at the meeting. But being eligible for re-election, they are peacefully re-elected to the board. This is followed by the overwhelming approval given for the proposed dividend.
Will those in favor of the motion please indicate by raising their admission or voting cards in their right hands? Thank you.
Concerns are raised about the delay in the Shagamu Ogun State expansion project. To this, the board gives a completion date. The new dawn in Honeywell was made possible by the execution of a cost management strategy. Investors see this record performance paving way for greater heights.
What we need to do, which we discovered, was clear commitment to our mission and our vision, and ensuring that our operations are increasingly more and more efficient, because we are aware and clear that we are in a competitive scale. Our sector is very, very competitive, and therefore it's only efficiency that can drive our performance, and that is the credo on which we work.
By year end, we should return a performance that will be over and above what we have returned this year.
It's the projection of shareholders that the dividend for the year that we will consider next year, by the grace of God, will provide a dividend above 20 kobo or thereabout.
Honeywell has remained a leading brand in the flour milling industry, revolutionizing the market with variants of staple foods and consistently enabling consumers to conquer hunger.
And for the rest of the business news, here's Anne Wilder.
You first. First Bank.
Thank you, Ijoma, and welcome to Business News. We begin with some cheery news for Nigeria, as it has now been given a 7-month extension for unlimited crude oil production at a meeting of the Joint Ministerial Monetary Committee of OPEC and non-OPEC countries, which has ended in Vienna, Austria today. Nigeria's Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Ibe Kachuku, said that although progress has been made in the country's production recovery efforts since October last year, it is not yet out of the woods. He says Nigeria will be prepared to limit its crude production when the output stabilizes at 1.8 million barrels per day. Africa's largest cement producer, Dangote Cement PLC, may report $3 billion in group sales in 2017, but that's if plans to acquire South Africa's PPC cement facility is successful. In a report released today by the investment and securities firm FBN Quest, Dangote Cement's group sales in the current year is forecast at $2.3 billion as a standalone equity, while South Africa's PPC sales is estimated at $700 million. Now, if Dangote Cement picks up 100% equity stake in PPC of South Africa, the Nigerian giant will have to issue around 1.3 billion additional shares, excluding premium or goodwill. Today's trading session at the Nigerian Stock Exchange has seen a quick and moderate recovery by blue-chip equities after the slight decline recorded yesterday. For more, let's join BC Adebayo.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The Nigerian equities market ends Friday's trading session in the green, in line with traders and analysts' expectation, as investors take advantage of the recent sell-off to acquire more shares. Positive sentiments were seen across major indices of the NSE, except the consumer goods, while the industrial goods sector recorded the highest increase of 2.3%. Their performance pushed up the market's total value by over 103 billion naira to 12.23 trillion naira, and an 85 basis points recovery in the all-share index. GT Bank, Jaiz Bank and Access Bank retained the lead positions on the activity chart in the same order earlier recorded on Thursday's session, from an overall turnover volume of 192.2 million units of shares traded in 2,814 transactions. Unilever and PZ led a pack of 22 gainers for the day, while the share prices of Julius Berger, NTR and Capitan are top on the ladder of 14 losers. And that's it on the Stock Market Report. I am BC Adebayo.
Thank you, BC. Asian markets have ended the week lower as investors digest renewed threats from North Korea and China's credit downgrade by S&P, but it's mixed close for the UK and US markets. Let's see the numbers for today. Thank you for watching Business News tonight. I'm Anne Nwawado. The rest of the news at 10 continues with Ijoma.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Anne. Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria's men's basketball team, the Tigers, begin chase for a place at the China 2019 FIBA World Cup in November. That's on sports. Please stay with us.